Welcome back to WJZ at 9. One of the gems of Baltimore is the Walters Art Museum on Charles Street. I cannot speak highly enough about the Walters. You could come in here by yourself, with friends, with family, and spend all day and be amazed, and in some cases, shocked. Lisa Anderson's you. What was the genesis moment when you all decided we want to see mummified Egyptian pets?
So about 3 years ago, Brooklyn Museum was offering this show, Soulful Creatures, for touring. And from that moment to now, it took 3 years. We wanted to bring it here because it goes so well with our Egyptian collections, but it tells a story that we can't about mummified animals in ancient Egypt.
Soulful. That is the key word here. Explain
Yes.
why.
So the Egyptians viewed the soul in multiple parts. The main part was your ka, which was your personality, and your soul is your ba. And gods were connected to different animals, and a mummified animal was actually the ba of a god. So a mummified ibis, like what we have here,
And that's an ibis.
yes, would be the ba of the god Thoth, who's the god of writing and wisdom.
So that's a mummy right there.
Correct.
And they would wrap, for instance, the ibis, the bird, they wrap it in linen.
Linen and resin, and sometimes they would put it in really elaborate coffins, like the gold and wooden one that we have here. Sometimes there would be just kind of wooden boxes. We have some on display in another area.
So that's a coffin.
It is a coffin. There is an ibis in there. We actually have the x-ray of what is inside. You can see the wrapped ibis inside.
I just thought that was a sculpture.
No.
That's correct. Now, the small one over there, is that another coffin?
It is. It would be for a small piece of an ibis, but the more money that you spent, so that's bronze, and it would be worth a lot of money, that might make your offering more appealing to the gods, because what you're doing with the mummified animal is sending a message to the gods.
So just like I would cremate, and we did, we lost our dog Dixie a few months ago, we had her cremated, great memories. Pet owners would do that.
Correct.
They would bury, cremate, they would
mummify and preserve
Crazy.
animals. Now, I do have to clarify that only a few mummified pets are known, but that did happen. But most of the millions of mummified animals from ancient Egypt were offerings to the gods.
That is incredible. You know, in America, we think Colonial Williamsburg is antiquity. That is antiquity. Coming up next half hour, you've done a great job, Lisa. Coming up next half hour, we're going to show you some more stuff that's just flat out cool in legitimate antiquity. Back to TV Hill. Back at the Walters Art Museum, K2 and I can't speak highly enough about the Walters. There's just so much to see. One of Baltimore's legacy museums, Dr. Lisa Anderson's you, and 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years old. How do you wrap your brain around this?
Oh, it's extremely hard. It's easy to think that, well, most of the things here are only 3,000 years old, but the care that goes into placing them and keeping them in perfect condition is just like mind-boggling, the amount that our staff do, conservation.
All these cases you're looking at are climate control. It's like the Declaration of Independence would be in there. They have to save this.
Right, forever, if we
Forever,
can.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
What are we looking at right here?
We are looking at a variety of differently wrapped ibis mummies, or things that are meant to look like ibis mummies.
What was the big deal about an ibis?
So the ibis was one of the most commonly mummified animals. 4 million ibis mummies have been found so far.
4 million?
So far, yes. And they were dedicated to the god Thoth, who was the god of writing and wisdom. And people were dedicating them to ask Thoth to intervene for them.
You told me off camera there's just feathers in one of these.
Right. So we do know that sometimes the priests who were mummifying the animals were perhaps cheating. So the first mummified animal in this case is a perfect ibis mummy. But the top one, which is a little bit more elaborately wrapped, is just feathers. So that would probably not be an effective offering to the god to hope that he'll intercede for your request.
Let's go over here just real quick. So we only have about 30 seconds left. What are we looking at right here?
We're looking at a mummified ibis inside a clay vessel. So we were first looking at a golden wooden, beautiful container for a mummy. But this one is much more plain, even in wood. But the more material and the more expense there is a thought that maybe your offering and your request would be heard more by the god the more money that you spent.
In other words, It's all about the Benjamins.
Yes, basically, yes.
Even back in, unbelievable. Hey, listen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
What a great job you and the Walters have done. Highly recommend. This starts this weekend and goes through early January.
January 11th.
Out of sight. Thanks so much. We really appreciate it. All right, Walters, thanks for hosting us. We'll be back, and let's go ahead and throw it back to TVO.
All right, Marty, thank you very much.